From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big morning on Mornings LA with incredible great details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why you're likely to get more months of checks from those Democrats. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal, signed, sealed. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you and the American people in the fourth stimulus recon, the biggest payout we've ever seen in this channel, and why the Purple Hawks are going to kill it under fourth stimulus. Then we turn to the deliciousness of what's happening for the push for MSC. And in a world exclusive, you're going to see more details of the number one guy pushing for the number one call to action, those MSCs. And what you, Purple Power, have been called upon to do as well. It's a big day. And then for the first time ever on Early Mornings LA, you meet Calendar Colleen. She has her calendar and she wants to tell you it's September. It's September. Well, I know Calendar Colleen, but she has more to tell you. Today is another day. We have all those details and more as the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, and the calendar's counting with Calendar Colleen. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day across the board here on Early Mornings LA with incredible great details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we got to the recon. Done deal, signed, sealed. The $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you and the American people under the biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel. We'll go over what this means for you and the big sums of money in this fourth stimulus recon. Then we go to the big call to action as the number one guy in D.C. for your stimulus has stepped forward and saying he's going to take care of you with an MSC. We have all the big details and it's all flexing itself right now on a big Early Mornings LA broadcast direct from Santa Monica. And this is LA, America's only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is Overnight's Crypto, currently airing on this channel. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Meantime, if you've not signed up for those LA alerts, do so. They're in the description to this video. Grab those LA alerts totally free. Go to news.la.com, put your name and email address in there, and then you're ready to rock and roll. Watch that confirmation email. More than 1,000 of you are waiting for that confirmation. And let's go into those monthly stimulus checks. House versus Senate, Senate versus House, big payouts across the board. Warren, Sanders, and Wyden calling for a monthly stimulus check, the amount unknown and the duration unknown. AOC, Omar, calling for a monthly $2,000 for a duration unknown. Then we have the House Ways and Means Committee for stimulus check monthly for a duration and an amount unknown. The American petition at $2,000 a month, a duration unknown. But the one that's captivated a country across the board has been that House bill. That House bill is pandemic plus 1 year, which is $1,000 a month, not $2,000 a month. It's only the first month that's $2,000. It's $1,000 a month, pandemic plus 1 year, which would amount to at least 12 checks, which would be at least $13,000. I think you have an opinion. I think you have an opinion. Vote House of Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from on this beautiful Early Mornings broadcast. How's the weather where you are? Jump in the live chat and tell me how the weather is as well. It's been beautiful in Santa Monica all week long. Beautiful, breezy, cool. It's going to be a little warmer, 80s to this weekend, so it's still perfect. Who gets this first stimulus check? You do. Single individual, 75,000 less. Democrats represent, you get one. Married couple, 150,000 less. Democrats represent, you get a monthly stimulus check. Double it. Family of four, Democrats represent, you get a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security Railroad benefits, the fourth stimulus check you're going to get as well. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. And it's not a waivable check. It's a monthly check. So if you're at the beach and the check runs up to you and kisses you on two cheeks, it's not a U.S. check. It's an Italian check. Just a little more friendly than us. And there we go. In the second half of this video, we'll go over the incredible details about that fourth stimulus rate cut. Done deal, signed, sealed. I'll go over what the difference is between an application-based stimulus check and a non-application-based stimulus check. IRS versus non-IRS in the second half of this video. Then we cut to the big, wonderful news. World exclusive and only on this channel, and your call to action as Bernie Sanders has stepped forward to take care of you, and we're going to go over all the details and what you need to do. And then you're also going to meet Calendar Colleen for the first time on Early Mornings LA. But first, let's get a pen and paper ready because I'm going to get you some big money for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners utilities. And we have some new success stories to start Early Mornings LA with as well. If you have success stories, send to me on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, private message. Kyra says, hey, LA, I got $17,000 from watching your channel. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Well, congratulations. Valerie getting $9,000. Dawn Reese, today I got rent, electric and gas. My rent was $2,175. Electric $284, gas $180. Thank you. Heart, smile, heart, smile, heart, smile, smile, cat. I don't know what the cat's about. But, thank you for the cat. And then another viewer, I believe her name was Deborah, got $419 for Snap monthly, which is great. That's about $5,000 annualized. Great job. So we start with, of course, the inspiration story, which is Johnny. Johnny was one of 3 viewers last week that started the week at $0. And by the middle of the week, they're at 40,000. But Johnny didn't stop at 3 items. He went and got 7 items by the weekend last Sunday, bringing his grand total to $80,000. I had a viewer on the second Afternoons LA show yesterday who was in the live chat before the show started say, when can I start getting some money? My response was, there's money right now. Third stimulus right today. You're watching a video and you're wondering, I want some money right now. This is money right today. So Johnny last week got $12,000 for SNAP, $10,000 for EIDL, $2,000 for taxes. He got housing rent money 2 different places, $21,000, then $25,000, $9,000 for electric, and he also got $50 a month for internet and phone, bringing his grand total to $80,000. So let's go over the big money you can get right today, which is for rent. Viewers are getting over $20,000 for this channel. There's no channel like this. There's no broadcaster like this that delivers you breaking financial news from Wall Street to Main Street and then gets you money. Tens of thousands of dollars a day available right now. Not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now, right today. Let's look at the numbers of viewers getting this day. $27,000 for Elizabeth, $25,000 for Mark. Big numbers. Then when we turn to utilities, Johnny getting $9,000. So you see how people are getting higher by the minute on this channel. When we talk about Snap, you're going to meet one person who got $19,000, bringing this even higher across the board. And that $19,000 you're going to see in a second is now worth $25,000. And let's look at the Triple Crown. Oh my goodness. Great job, Nancy, at 3 items at $32,000. Nisi at 3 items at $23,000. And there's Mark at 2 items at $32,000. A new update about Mark today. Let's go over the 5 great stories about Mark. Number 1, he got 2 items at $32,000, but I told Mark for 5 days on camera, get Snap because it's a Snap. Ow. He got the sound effect, but he also hurt his fingers. Then the next thing was that Mark told his neighbor about me, and within 5 days, that neighbor went from 0 to $20,000 of rent paid because of watching his channel. Not a unusual story, because last Sunday, Shanann, member, Purple Hawk of 2 months, said the same thing. I told my friend about you, LA, and now she watches you daily, and she's addicted to you. She received $9,000 for rent, $5,000 for utilities, and $6,000 annualized for Snap. You rock, LA. Wow. Then we also had success stories from Dawn, Mary, Joanne, Becca, Leanne, and Crayola helping her as well. Well, the next success story from Mark was that he had gotten 3 items, but he now updates us now this week that he's getting more items. So he's seeing people like Johnny getting 7 items, and he's going back and getting more money. And finally, Mark got that Snap. How much do you think he got for Snap? He got $19,000, Mark. Mark got $19,000 for Snap, bringing his grand total to $50,500, because the sky is the limit here on this channel, and we have Lorraine who got over $100,000, and this is what we do because this is LA. In April of last year, I launched this channel to get people money, not to track money, because people had applied for that EIDL loan and grant, and were not getting applied. So one after another, I went in and got their applications approved. I got $25 million of EID loans approved across the board, doing their applications on camera and off camera, one at a time. Then 3 days later, there was a new program going live. It was very confusing, the application. So I explained to Americans what the application was. Most people never heard of it because it was brand new. What was it? It was PUA. Americans had not heard about it. Going live on April 28th, but in some states like Florida and DC, didn't go live for 2 months. I got Eileen Bellenkamp, for example, out of Florida, $15,000 of rent, $15,000 for PUA. Regular occurrence. But then in fall of 2020, second stimulus was not coming. So you needed money. And I got viewers $250,000, like Tyrona's family four out of Boston, $15,000 for rent, paying their rent to the spring. And now's your opportunity. As that viewer said, is there any money coming up for fourth stimulus this week? No. This money for third stimulus is available today. It's still available today. It's been available and it's still available. So here are some introductory remarks about the money. Number one, I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. Reach out to all 6. Each has different eligibility. If one says no, reach out to the next. Number 2, they also have their own pot of money. So who worries if one says no, different eligibility and different pots of money? Number 3, every state has the same amount of money based upon the number of residents. Finally, listen to the keywords I say in the video and do not have preconceptions on things that you don't qualify for. Just not true. All right, here you go. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority. That's 2. Your county hall, your county housing authority. That's 4. And your state hall and your state housing authority. That's 6. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. There you go. And congratulations to all the people who've gotten money for rent and utilities. If you have as well, post your success story in the live chat. Tim and Linda got as well. The next pot of the money is the money for SNAP that comes from Department of Agriculture. What is SNAP? It's money for food. Food is important because if you don't eat, you're dead. So go get that money for food. And the eligibility is very easy. It's a SNAP. I'm not going to do it. My finger's going to hurt. So how do you get it? Reach out to the Department of Agriculture. And now the breaking news delivered last Monday on camera, live on air, was that people's benefits are going up. Mark is going from $19,000 to $25,000. Why? Because everyone's benefits are going up an average of 25% lifetime automatically nationwide starting in October. Oh my goodness, incredible, great news. So if you got in Snap, post your success story in the live chat like Lynn Glenn, herself, her son, and her mom, and Gail as well. The next pot of the money is the money coming back from your states due to overpayment of computer error unemployment benefits. This is where the states had overpaid you unemployment benefits due to computer error. Federal government has ordered them to pay that money back to you. One viewer got $3,000, other viewer got $5,000. The federal government has also ordered them to upgrade their computers, which is convenient because just this week, Microsoft announced Windows 11, the first upgrade since Windows 6, as Windows 10, 6 years ago, longest duration ever. So now the states are very excited. I'm upgrading from Windows 10, 1910. How do you upgrade when the computer is started by water and fire? I have to get a new computer. And then finally, the refund check coming back from IRS. Margaret got a card, Michael got it. You know, some of them are $1,200, some are $1,400. Johnny got $1,800, and a viewer this week and got $2,000. More about that in a second. But here's a personal message from me to you. I launched this channel to help you get money. This channel is like no channel in the United States. Brian Key financial news across the board, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But a channel that's showing you how to get tens of thousands of dollars every single day this channel is on air. But you help viewers as well. So post your success story in the live chat right now, whatever monies you're getting, rent, utilities, food, or internet, because you inspire people. Number 1, people need to know to pick up the phone. Well, I called Gloria in Long Island, but I didn't call the rest of them. Well, call the utility company. Say, hey, I want some utility assistance because of COVID. Pick up the phone. You need that encouragement, and that encouragement comes from other viewers who are doing it. So post your success story. Then we have people who never heard of items like Snap. Larry Maui never heard of it. Now he's getting $6,000 a year because of me. We have the incredible success story of viewers getting 3 items, now $30,000. We see bigger numbers across the board, and then we see people getting 7 items. So post your success stories so you can inspire other people. More about those unemployment benefits, where they landing, direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Can you track it? Yeah, go to irs.gov and do a transcript search. 70% of the time it will work. It'll reveal the refund check you're getting, the tax return you filed, and the taxes you paid. It'll also reveal what month is it for Calendar Colleen. Calendar Colleen, what month is it? Oh, it's September. Okay, I didn't know that, Calendar Colleen. I appreciate that. Can we top that? We can't top that as we go into the second part of your fourth stimulus check update 2021. Starting right now. Deal done. Signed, sealed. Your $3.5 trillion recon is a done deal. It was done last Tuesday. And this is incredible great news. Let's go over what this recon means for you. 1, there'll be a recon. 2, it'll be $3.5 trillion. 3, it'll be all checks for the American people, but mostly application-based checks. That means you're going to have to pick up the phone and get the money, meaning that it won't come automatically to you. Stimulus checks are a push to be put in there as well. On top of that, not confirmed yet, but these checks, $3.5 trillion automatic, are guaranteed. These $3.5 trillion of checks, application-based, are confirmed. More about that in the final 15 minutes of this video. Stay to the very end. How do we get to this wonderful spot? By taking roads and bridges out of the recon and putting it into something called the bipartisan. A conservative publication confirms my reporting that initially the recon back in June and July was too big when they had roads and bridges in there. So they took it out and put it into something called the bipartisan. The higher the price tag was on the recon, the harder it was to pass before. There you go. But by allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending from the recon, roads and bridges put in the bipartisan, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable. Now, there's two types of reporters you can watch. There's a reporter that will tell you after an event happens, or there's a reporter that'll tell you the news before it happens. That's the type of reporting I do on this channel. And in the month of June and July, I told you the recon was going to pass flying colors in a blink of an eye, because by then, the Democrats had already agreed to the recon. In the month of June and July, the president, the senators, and the House members, Democrats, had agreed and met to do a recon at a price tag of $3.5 trillion. So that by August 23rd, when they called for a vote on the House side, it was done in a blink of an eye because everyone had already agreed upon this. Going into those original negotiations about the price tag, they had said we need to go big. That's what Representative Richie Torres, Democrat, New York, progressive, and Representative Ilhan Omar, Democrat, Minnesota, progressive, had said. We need a larger recon, and a recon that goes as big as bold as we want it. The president then before the voting started, said, protect my recon, because everything in that recon is progressive checks for the American people. That's what Brian Schatz, Democrat Hawaii, had said, and so did Jalapal. So what is a recon? What is a bipartisan? What is a recon procedural? What is the tow truck? And which one's the tow hitch? Let's go over all the details, starting right now. Last Tuesday, not this Tuesday, but the Tuesday before that, the tow truck passed over the finish line. That's part 1 of the recon. Recon is your money, also called bipartisan. Recon is your money, also called reconciliation, also called budget bill, price tag $3.5 trillion. Other names that are used are things like the Democratic spending plan or the progressive welfare social reform plan. Price tag $3.5 trillion. All your checks. Bipartisan, not your money. Roads and bridges, also called infrastructure. Well, guess what? The tow truck has passed over the finish line. That was the recon procedural, passed last week. Now time to pick up the tow hitch, recon substantive. So what's the difference between recon procedural and recon substantive? Very, very simple. Recon procedural basically says, are we doing this? And recon substantive says, okay, what are the terms of what we're doing? So recon procedural passed last week. They agreed there's going to be a recon of $3.5 trillion, and it's going to be all checks for the American people. Split from $10 to this committee and $20 to that committee. All right, so then recon substantive says, now that the committee has given the money, how is it going to spend it? Larry Pringle on Noontime LALATE 2 days ago said this beautifully in the comments as a viewer and Purple Hawk. He said, people, you have to really push for this recon substantive, because while they've agreed to give you these checks, there's a push underway to determine how to spend the money. So make sure they spend the money the right way. Wonderfully said. How do we get to this wonderful spot? From Jalapal, who recently wrote Schumer a letter saying, chuck all the vote on the recon. That letter was signed by 12 House Democrats, part of 100 plus, who recently wrote the president a letter saying, we're going to be putting monthly forced stimulus checks to the forced stimulus recon. Can we top that? Yes. As 7 members of the House Ways and Means Committee recently said that they're putting monthly forced stimulus checks to the forced stimulus recon. Well, you got to push Purple Power, because yes, that is one of several promises. House Ways and Means, monthly, 4th stimulus check. Don't say how many months, and don't say the amount. Then we have AOC and Omar, $2,000 a month, but don't say how many months. We have Warren, Sanders, and Wyden saying monthly, but they don't say the amount or the number of months. And then we have the House bill, which is $1,000 a month after the first month, pandemic plus 1 year. And there you go. How do we get to this wonderful spot? Biden did it by taking roads and bridges out of the recon. Excuse me, by taking a confusing thing out of the recon and putting it somewhere else. What is that confusing thing? It's a storyline for Real Housewives of Potomac. I don't understand that show. No, it is the global minimum corporate tax rate. Now it makes it easier to call the vote on the recon, easier to write the recon, and easier to pass the recon. Can we top that? Yes. In the final 15 minutes of this early morning's broadcast, we go over the world-exclusive details you're only going to hear on this channel as one major legislator is pushing for those MSC. The call for action upon you, Purple Power. You've been asked to give support. This is your opportunity to push. I'm going to also insert, for my first time since delivering this world exclusive, my personal opinion of the situation. Then you're going to meet a long-time interesting cast member. Well, not cast member of the show, viewer of this show, Calendar Colleen. I'll tell you what she's saying now that we're in September. Those incredible details. But first, if you're having problems finding rent, utilities, food, or internet, get at least one. And then if you can't get the rest, reach out to the volunteers. Where are they? They're on the community page. Here's a little bit about it. And I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as Early Mornings LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. Confused. In the third part of this video, we're going to go over all the incredible details about your fourth stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. We'll go over why the Democrats are setting this up beautifully and why application base will be an opportunity for those purple hawks to pounce and get big sums of money. Then we cut out to the world exclusive you're only going to hear on this channel about what the #1 player is proposing to give you. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 30,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Meantime, if you've not signed up for those LA alerts, please do so. Totally free. It's in the description of this video. It's news.la.com/alerts. Hit that alert button and you'll get confirmation. As soon as anything happens, watch for that confirmation email in the spam folder. And with that, let's go into the exciting details of this stimulus. This stimulus starts by raising your benefits up a lifetime. And that raising your benefits is a September legislation that starts drafting, then potentially goes to a vote by November. Step one is they're going to raise your benefits up a lifetime. Then they're going to remove the asset limits, add an inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over how that works starting right now. Step one, they're going to raise your benefits up a lifetime. That's you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, or veterans benefits. Step two is they're going to apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark is inflation. And where's it going? I'm saying it's going to be about 5%. So let's do the analysis. First, they'll raise your benefits up lifetime. Then they'll apply the benchmark. If it's 5%, you'll go up another 5%, not net share, but just lifetime. Wow. Then they're going to move the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. It's going to go away, and you'll be able to have some stimulus checks in your hand. They're going to move the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. And love is going to win, and you'll be able to do a pair dance at your own wedding. Finally, will there be a fifth stimulus check? Yes. The House Ways and Means Committee members represent, they're giving you a fifth stimulus check in the fifth stimulus package. And lastly, if you've not become a Purple Hawk, what are you doing? The link is in the video. Purple Hawks is delivered daily from me, a breakdown of all the big money that's available under first, second, and third stimulus for you to get. Purple Hawks have been on this channel since January of this year when I launched it, saying, yeah, third stimulus, $1,400 stimulus check. Not very excited about it. But $14,000 that's available for you under third stimulus for you get very excited about it. And Purple Hawks have now been getting $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $80,000, $100,000 all that time from this channel. This is big money that's available for you under third stimulus. As that viewer said on Afternoons LALATE yesterday, is there any fourth stimulus money coming to me this week? No. There's third stimulus money available for you to get this week, this moment, this day, right away. So consider becoming a Purple Hawk right away so you learn about all this incredible sums of money. And with that, we go into the final 15 minutes of this video starting right now. Deal done, signed, sealed. A $3.5 trillion recon is a done deal as the tow truck has passed over the finish line. Let's go over what the notion and differences are between recon, substantive when it's application-based, and a stimulus check when it comes from IRS. The recon that passed last Tuesday guarantees there will be a recon, $3.5 trillion, and checks from the American people. Of those checks, they're all application-based stimulus checks. But the check you're used to thinking about that comes from IRS, that does not require an application, yet it's not confirmed yet in the fourth stimulus recon. There's a push underway to put them in there in addition to these application-based checks. So what are application-based checks? Checks that you're going to pick up the phone and call and get that you've been doing all along. You've been doing this for PBT, SNAP, telephone, wire, internet, food, rent, EIDL, PPP, PEBT. Since day one of this channel. Here are some of the proposed items that are application-based checks. Free school meals for all checks, tax-free checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, farmers checks, checks for free internet, checks for independent contractors, lots of checks for independent contractors, lots of checks for seniors, checks for dental, checks for vision, and checks for hearing care. Now you saw just in those last few listings that they're all very different. Dental, internet, those are different items. IRS would never send you an automatic check because it doesn't know automatically you need money for dental or vision or internet. Who would know that? A committee of the government that you contact, pick up the phone and say, I need this money. And that's why this is application-based. Not that you fill out a 50-page application, but that you reach out to them and say, I need this money. And you've been doing this since day one, so you're going to kill it. That's why when that graphic was up, there it is, recon procedure. We talked about committees being given money. So for example, one committee may have $1, may have $100 here for dental and $500 there for vision. Those are different sums of money. You're going to kill it as a Purple Hawk because all these different committees have these different sums of money. And guess what? You're going to have a lot of different committees on a lot of different subjects having lots of checks that you potentially qualify for. If you've gotten $30,000, $40,000 on the third stimulus is this big, that was 80% for corporations. Imagine how much money you could get from fourth stimulus. That's this big. And it all requires just picking up a telephone generally. There you go. Now, in addition to that, there's a push underway to put stimulus checks in there. And last Sunday, I told viewers on air, maybe it was Saturday, I told viewers on air that one of the big players was asking for your input. Who was that player? His name is Bernie Sanders. Now, you may know Bernie Sanders as Democrat progressive and you know what state he's from. But did you know he's the chairman of the Budget committee on the Senate. What's the budget committee to oversee? What purport and bill do they work on? The recon, the reconciliation budget bill. Yes, this is Bernie Sanders' bill. He is the chairman of the budget committee that oversees the reconciliation budget bill. What are the terms? How is it written? How is it done? And going in the weekend, Bernie Sanders says, you know what? Previous budget chairmen sort of do this in D.C., but I like to go out among the people and hear what they have to say. Well, that's why I said at the time, pick up the phone and call and say what you need to say. Lynn Glenn and countless other viewers called at the time, but one of them that called was Brother Joshua, longtime viewer of this channel and a former volunteer for the community page. He picked up the phone, was respectful, polite, and professional, and said, I want to talk to the staffer about Bernie Sanders and MSC. And now let's pause for a second. Let's just pause at that point. Over the last few months, we've endured a lot as a wonderful family on this channel. And imagine that Brother Joshua picked up the phone to ask about the MSC and push for MSC. He was not alone, because WR had done that as another viewer's channel with Chris Coons, Democrat of Delaware, one of Joe Biden's oldest friends, a senator, and had asked that staffer about MSC. And that staffer for Chris Coons, senator, said, yes, Senator Chris Coons is working on a monthly stimulus check provision in the forced stimulus recon. That was several weeks earlier. Now we have Brother Joshua calling up Bernie Sanders' office, and the response initially was, yes, Bernie Sanders, budget chairman of the recon, forced stimulus recon budget bill, is drafting a stimulus check provision. Wow. World exclusive you're hearing only on this channel. Now imagine how simple it was for Brother Joshua to pick up the phone and call. Over the last 3 months, virtually every broadcast channel was so darn friggin' lazy that they couldn't pick up the phone and call and ask a senator if they're doing this, but was certainly content on writing the story that there was no stimulus check. No one's talking about a stimulus check. No one's proposing a stimulus check. Did you ever pick up the phone and call? No, they didn't care. They didn't care to ever do the depth of reporting that is on this channel. And over the last few months, people always said, well, I saw on this particular broadcast channel, they say there's no stimulus check. Well, did they ever call anyone? No, they just sort of read stuff on Google. Yeah, I can't see anything else. They read stuff on a search engine. That's not research, reading stuff on a search engine. It's sort of like asking the guy at the corner with the pretzel, is there going to be a stimulus check? He says no, so I don't think so. No, he only knows the salt and the mustard. So Brother Joshua immediately had an answer. Yes, Bernie Sanders is working on reconciliation. He's working the reconciliation budget bill, of which he's the chairman, for an MSC. Immediately, the answer to your question was there. And for everyone who had said no one's talking about a stimulus check, oh, Bernie Sanders was talking about it. He's actually writing it. So that scratched that fake narrative off the line. So what was Bernie Sanders' number? Bernie Sanders' staffer, wonderful, kind, professional, respectful, said, Senator Sanders is proposing $1,000 to $1,400 monthly stimulus check. Yes. And proposing 3 to 6 months. Yes. But there's a catch. What's the catch? The catch was that Bernie Sanders' staffer said that Senator Sanders wants to see your support behind him for these MSCs before he proposes it. We got this, Purple Power. This is what we do. This channel changed history in November of last year when there was not supposed to be any stimulus check at the time. But there's a continuing resolution that had to be done, and I came up with the idea solely on this channel for CR for stimulus, trended nationally in the United States, #1. I said, put a stimulus check in the CR. They said, no, it doesn't make sense. I said, I don't care if it makes sense. Put it in there. And initially they came back and said, yeah, we're putting unemployment stimulus in there. I said, no, I meant stimulus check. And then we pushed again, and you got it. We changed American history. Second stimulus, it will forever be in the history books. Well, now is your 2021 opportunity to change history. Bernie Sanders wants to hear from you. Say, yes, I support you, Senator Sanders. Hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power, hashtag LALATE. Pick up the phone and say, I support you, Bernie Sanders. I want that multiple stimulus check. Thank you for being so kind and watching out for the American people. Thank you for being such a wonderful budget chairman. And this is all you're doing. You can do this. First, let me introduce you to a new cast member to the show. Not a cast member, sort of like a viewer. And then my personal thought about the situation. Let me introduce that new viewer. You may have heard her. She walks in whenever there's a party going on and say, "Did you know what month this is?" You're at the coffee shop, you're buying the cappuccino, and she walks in and she says, "Do you know it's September?" You see her walking on the street. She's always carrying the same thing. It's not her purse. What is she carrying? Her calendar. It's Calendar Colleen. And here she is. She has a calendar. And Calendar Colleen is often in the comments. She's often in the live chat. You've seen her. She just doesn't belong here. What does she say? It's September. What did she next say? It's September. Did you know it's September? It's September. What happened to July? What happened to August? What happened to We're in September. Do you care? They're coming back in September. They're voting in September. What day are they voting? What day? When? What day? When? September. Let me mark it on my calendar. That's Calendar Colleen. You know, she's a little obsessed with dates. I don't know where it came from. I think as a young child growing up, there were no calendars at home. She never knew what year it was till she was age 13. She couldn't keep track of what age she was. And then like, Colleen, it's your age 13? I did not know that. You didn't give me a calendar. I've not been able to keep track. So now that she's an adult, she walks everywhere with a calendar and keeps track of what day it is, what year it is, and what day the $12 ice cream is on sale. She just loves that calendar. So if you see Calendar Colleen, tell her the door's out that way. It just... Calendar Colleen doesn't really contribute a lot. She doesn't contribute a lot. She just likes to tell you what day it is. Did you know it's September? Whatever happened to July? And then those senators, what happened to those senators in August? And then what happened oh boy, calendar. Just those calendars. Just love to mention those dates, don't you? And finally, a personal match. Just people have sort of asked my insight on the whole situation now with Bernie and everyone else. Here's my insight. I want you to remember what has been proposed and what hasn't been proposed, number one. So I have seen some people on Twitter saying it should be $2,000 a month for 12 months, as the House promised. Maybe you're watching another channel. I never said that on this channel. The House bill was never $2,000 a month for 12 months. It was $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. I've had 9,000 graphics on this one. I mean, I don't know how anyone would not catch that graphic. I mean, people say you repeat yourself a little bit too much. I've only said it like 9,000 times. This was the prior graphic we've seen on this channel. We just had this graphic 1,000 times. House $2,000 a month and 1,000. The more recent graphic you've seen down here. Let's look at that one, which is pandemic. Just here we go. House bill. This one. It's always been $1,000 a month. It's after the first month of 2,000. So the House members never, ever promised you $2,000 a month for 12 months. That's not to say you shouldn't advocate for it. Just don't say that someone promised you that, because they never promised you at all that. Number two, no one has ever promised you $24,000 in stimulus checks. And I have to say it with a straight face, but there's a lot of people on social media demanding $36,000 in stimulus checks, $45,000 in stimulus checks. I mean, it's fine, but no one has ever promised that for you in a letter or a bill. Do I think it's going to pass? No, I don't think anyone's paying people $36,000 a stimulus checks. Not going to do it. So finally, what is my opinion of the situation? I have an opinion of the situation, which is here you have a person who is not just a random House member or a random senator. This is the number one guy in the number one position on the only thing that is the core of where this stems from. This stems from the budget bill. It doesn't stem from something else. This is the bill. This bill is a budget bill. He is chairman of the budget committee that oversees the budget bill, and he's the number one guy. He's the chairman. So for anyone who says something like, I don't support Bernie, well, then what do you do? I mean, I've seen some people say, I don't support Bernie. Okay, so what are you going to do? You're going to do nothing, sit back and just do nothing? Now, I love advocacy, and that's always been the spirit of this channel. Advocacy is important. You may not agree with the numbers. That's fine, but you can certainly say that. So you can certainly say, I don't agree with the numbers, but don't say you're not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm not supporting you because I was promised this. The word promise sometimes goes a little bit longer and further than people think. These are elected officials, and they have a proposal, then they have a bill, then they have a vote, and then they have a law. Along the way, there are people like AOC that writes a letter to the president saying, monthly stimulus check, $2,000. I want that for the American people. Does she follow through by writing it as a bill? No. AOC didn't make her proposal, her demand of $2,000 a month for a number of months we don't know, into a bill. She didn't follow through. Is this a reoccurring theme with AOC? Yeah, it is, where she says she wants to do something, never writes a bill about it. So how much has she promised? How much has she followed through on her promise? She hasn't written it in the bill. Then did she ever get that bill set for a vote before Nancy Pelosi? No, she didn't write a bill. So you have to understand, don't think that someone has followed through on their promise over the last few months. You have to look at the people who have followed through on their promises to you over the last few months. Someone who wrote a bill like Jalopal, introduced the bill, Jalopal, and set that in place. Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and Ron Wyden wrote the president saying we're putting 4 stimulus checks in there. And now Bernie, as the chairman, says I'm putting it in there and trying to draft it. So this is a person who's absolutely followed through on his promises. If you don't like the number, certainly advocate what you don't like about the number, but also don't be unrealistic and say that someone else promised you $36,000 of stimulus checks. They didn't. Meantime, remember when you're looking at these numbers, which I haven't had a lot of time to do, get a calculator out and sort of add them all up. So when we're looking at 6 months times this or 3 months times this, add them all up. And there you go. Part of the importance is understanding that everything in Washington is a negotiation. And if you have the number one guy who's negotiating for you, you're in a really good position. We have Chris Coons, we have Elizabeth Warren, we have Ron Wyden, and we have Bernie, and we have Chuck Schumer, who's meeting with Bernie Sanders 4 to 5 times a day to change languages to the bill. These are details you only see on this channel. This is why you watch this channel. World exclusives and a community that has now been tasked to push and put support behind him. You have the opportunity to change American history. You have the opportunity as viewers of this channel to change things. This is your task. This is your time. Step up and do what is valued of it. You will always be very proud of yourself and be able to proud to tell your fans, friends and family and children that you watch this channel, that this channel's original volunteer called up, got the call to action, then you step forward, you as part of this incredible family pushed and got something done. That is an incredible thing you'll be able to always remember, that you were part of the family that got this done. That's why you want to be part of this family. And with that, we're going to have a lot of shows across the board today, so join me all throughout the day. Overnight's Crypto is currently airing on this channel. This video will automatically take you there. Then I'm back at 9 a.m. with Mornings LALATE live on air. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers on YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.